Hello world, Frida Reba Darcy and Patricia O'Connor here today on the Bonsai balcony. It is Thursday, our second of our 2 days off. Yesterday would have been a nice time to drop a video and talk about some of the stuff that we have going on. Also, we were in the news a bit because everybody's been kind of watching the weather, and we've got a heat dome above us and above Arizona and Texas, and it's going to be a little hot and sticky for a lot of folks. And we're 4 floors up, which I remind my viewers of every chance I get, and that creates a lot of heat for us. Also, I am pointing the camera currently at the one and only outside air source I have. That patio door is the only window in this 1-bedroom apartment. So yesterday around noon, I thought it would be a good idea to take a new acquisition, which was this 5-tiered rack. You can see there, you can see that 5-tiered rack. I thought it'd be a good idea to throw that guy in there. And in order to do that, I had to partially disassemble part of my uprights. And I had a catastrophe. Catastrophe was not a stretch. I broke my overhead rig, and was 11 o'clock last night putting everything back online. Meanwhile, everything moved into the house. Everything moved into the house. Also, when the rig fell, it landed on my Wisteria, and it landed on my Ponderosa. I don't see any damage to the Ponderosa. I would expect some. What I saw was a light with Ponderosa limbs sticking up through the blades of the light. So, not the most fun. It was also pretty brutal for me. Also, I heard a gasp. Somebody screamed, "Whoa!" down at the pool when that happened. It wasn't subtle. There was nothing subtle about it. But lucky, now this is a little lesson. When I built this rig, and it's how I built this rig is in tool time, is in parts of our thing called tool time. When I built this rig, it was built vertical, which is like how you build buildings and stuff. You know, they're not made to be leaned over. So yesterday, in order to put that 5-tiered shelf in, I had to undo the base supports, and I didn't realize it. But over time, the rig had shifted a little bit, and it wasn't allowed to shift any more than a little bit because I had strapped it to the piece of wood that I was just about to remove. And when I removed that piece, when I removed those bolts from the shelf that used to run along there, and it had a strap for that upright going all the way to the ground, and it was strapped there, which would keep it from ever wanting to do anything. And this guy had something similar to that on this side. When I removed that bolt on this side, it allowed the thing to whip out, which busted the rig off at its connectors. However, whenever I build anything, it gets rigged in a way that it should be able to stay. If with regular treatment, it should be fine. On the other hand, if it's whipped or at an extreme angle and allowed to do that, I didn't build it to withstand that, and it did not. But everything was safetied, so nothing hit the ground, and it just created a 2-man job that was done by 165, and I have the bruises. To show for it. Looking back, you can kind of see the maple looks a little flustered. It found itself in there more than once. We will be finding little victims. I think for the most part, I got away with that. I will not know for sure for a moment, but stuff happens. And I thought I would bring you in on the stuff, the good, the bad, and the otherwise. I just found a dead branch here. No, it's not dead, but this is a busted branch here. Would not think. There. Give up something else. I'll be finding little bits and pieces like that on the bye. Also, that one had a pat hair on it, so it might have been done. It might have been done by a barnstorming gal up here trying to make things happen. Also, I rotated this oak around, and you can kind of see as big and full as it looked on our side, the light side. On the sun side, we got a huge zone of not a whole lot happening. So I probably could have rotated that a couple of weeks ago to help that out, but we've rotated it now, and it's funny. You can kind of look at that and go, that part of the tree did not like sun. Okay, noted. Somebody mentioned a point that they do. They say they got paid at a certain pay interval, and they use that pay interval as a reminder for them to rotate their trees. I might start doing that. I think that's a good idea. I might start doing that too. So yeah, there's my peanuts for the crows. I joined a murder of crows here recently. They made me vice president in charge of peanuts. Everything has got a slightly different layout. I wanted to use this 5-tiered shelf. After I destroyed the rig, I had to use part of the shelf as a foundation, as the new foundation, because I gave up a section of pipe there because of couplers breaking. So pretty much kind of spent the advantage of using that whole tiered shelf. I would have been so much better off had I not. But I don't think I hate this. It's just roughed in. I was basically bringing everything back out here last night, bringing everything out here in the dark. But this is everything. This is all the same amount of trees. I think everybody is going to be slightly easier to get to. Everybody's a little bit more accessible. This little tray here by itself could stand a few more trees. And that guy, it kind of needed a little bit more space than what I had been given it, because it gets damaged because of how much it hangs out of the little pot. Anyway, that's kind of my pickup news. I would have done something productive and bonsai like yesterday, and then we could have followed that up with something else. But instead, I am just now recovering from a really, really, really overactive day yesterday. From the time I broke that was about noon to the time I got it built, 13 hours. I probably took 2 15-minute breaks during that whole time just to sit down and get water and stuff. And our heat was raging on that whole time. So I don't think the heat was detrimental, but I already had a lot of the small trees brought in because it was super, super hot the day before. And I took the Ponderosa, and I took all of my trays of small trees, and I brought them in the living room after I watered Monday morning, because we were in theory going to be up to the 90s up here, and I wasn't going to be here till 6 o'clock. So I thought taking them out of the direct light would be a great way to go. And I had already moved the big guys back out. And I'd already moved the Ponderosa and the other big guys back outside. And that was whenever I thought I would bring that shelf and put that into place, and then the little guys would go on some of that shelving. And that's kind of how our day started. I'm just now getting a little bit caught up to where I was this time yesterday, except not quite, because I raked so much stuff in the living room. I made so many messes, and this mess that I made out here went from door to door. It went all the way to I started stacking stuff at the front door, and I had trees in the bathtub. I had trees on the kitchen counter. I had trees in the sink. I had trees everywhere, and that still didn't stop me from dropping stuff on trees. With all I had going on, it seemed like everything was too big to be held by one person. Anyway, it's not always that calamitous. I think to have included you guys with this would not have been the most fun show ever. It was pretty abusive to me. I don't think y'all. I don't know. That could have been worth its weight in gold, I guess. But yeah, that's not. I wouldn't say it's not bonsai because it was my bonsai yesterday. Anyway, like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. We survived that. We got a call from the landlord going, "What's going on up there?" And I went, nothing, everything's fine." No, I didn't. I said, "I dropped my rig and I'm putting it all back, but everything was safety, so nothing would ever hit the ground." And she said, "That's fine, you're okay?" And I went, "Yep, we're okay. It was all self-induced too. I'm putting it back together, but it's gonna be a minute." She goes, "Okay, goodbye." Like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Who wasn't overly bothered, who was a cool cookie throughout, who patiently waited while I piled wood next to her water bowl. Little Miss Frida Reba Darcy. She and I will be back. Hello there, little dove. She and I will be back probably Saturday for our Saturday drop, and then we'll go in Saturday night. We'll go in Saturday night for our, you don't have to hide from me, little bird, it's okay. And then we'll come back on Saturday night for Saturday Night Live, kind of like we do. I appreciate you. Frida appreciates you. And this is with a lot of pickup still left to do. This is just kind of roughed in. I still got stuff everywhere. But this is kind of the basic idea of the new bonsai balcony layout. Yeah, this is kind of us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. That was a piece of lint in my pocket. We don't want that. And some akadama. Yeah, yesterday was rough. It was. Here, let me see if I can give you another dog treat that doesn't have lint in it. Here you go. All right.